The Golden State Warriors believe that their ability to sign LeBron James is directly linked to their ability or inability to trade for Anthony Davis. We're going to talk a little bit about that. That came out from Brian Windhorst. We also have details of why Cleveland and Miami have reportedly separated themselves from the rest of the pack in the pursuit of LeBron James. Also, the Los Angeles Clippers plan to retain Ben Mathurin while still trying to go after Peyton Watson. And we also have that the Lakers are circling Jonathan Kuminga with a $20 million offer potentially on the table. We're going to talk about all these things plus more right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of the Full Court Podcast. I'm your host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at the Full Court YT on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go and get to this content for today, y'all. So, the Golden State Warriors believe that their pursuit of LeBron James is directly linked to their ability to trade for Anthony Davis. And while many people have kind of moved on from the thought of LeBron James joining the Golden State Warriors, it seems like they still have some hopes. According to Shams Charania, he says this: I think LeBron's been open-minded, but the Warriors' whole plan going into free agency was, okay, let's see if we can get Steph Curry, Draymond Green, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. I think the big draw for LeBron with the Warriors would be seeing if there's an avenue to the package deal with Davis. Short of that, I don't think the Warriors are high on his list, and I think the Warriors themselves, but they are not on the list unless they're able to trade for Anthony Davis. Now, this was a rumor early on into offseason. It's kind of been one that has gone by the wayside, but now the question remains on this one: should the Warriors, if it means they land LeBron, go all in for Anthony Davis? Listen, I get the idea of pairing Dre and Steph and Anthony Davis and LeBron James, right? And that's great. Like that would be a veteran core of basketball players, old but still a veteran core of basketball players. I'm sure you'll be able to hopefully retain Axel Lindenberg in that as well. They'd be crazy to let him go in regards to all this. But if LeBron's biggest draw going to Golden State is built around playing with Curry and AD and just not Steph Curry, I don't think it's gonna work out, right? Like, of course, Anthony Davis will give the Golden State Warriors the size, the defense, the interior presence, all that type of stuff. But he also brings with him serious injury concerns, right? And if this is truly Steph Curry's final championship window, you know, I commend the Golden State Warriors for trying to find a way to make it work, but I just don't think that it's going to be there, right? Like, the Warriors should explore the aggressive path to see what they can get done, but I just don't think that that's going to happen, right? LeBron taking less money makes sense. And it makes sense if it's giving the Warriors a chance to really overhaul their roster and bring in Anthony Davis. But I do think this is still too expensive, it's too complicated, and it's too 2K to make it work, right? Reportedly, the Washington Wizards, if they want Jimmy Butler and multiple first-round picks for Anthony Davis. Trading Butler is neither here nor there, especially with his injury. I wouldn't look at as a here nor there with an over 30-year-old player suffering an ACL tear. But I do think in regards to giving up those future first-round picks, if you don't have to, for just the hope that LeBron's going to come, I just don't see he's going to be there. Of course, the apron limitations, the restrictions, all that come down in regards to it. So if LeBron does not view the Warriors as a top destination without AD, just is what it is. I mean, at that point, the Warriors are going to have to move on, which it seems like they basically already have with the moves that they've made, that they move on. And it is what it is. It is what it is. At this point, it was already a 2K ploy, and now you get to move on from that. But according to Brian Windhorst, the Cavs and the Heat are in reportedly their own category in regards to being able to acquire LeBron James in this offseason, and take that for what you will. Again, this comes from Brian Windhorst, who says this: one thing I think is going to come down here that LeBron will have to decide is how much he cares about what people will think if he goes to a team he's never played for before. Basically, if he chooses somebody besides Cleveland or Miami, it's a very clean decision. It makes sense. I think Cleveland and Miami are their own category. To this day, he repeats Miami Heat mantras. When I watch him play and hear him talk, you feel that Miami Heat part of his basketball DNA. So Brian Windhorst alluding to that the Cavs and the Heat have separated themselves. Here's the thing. Do the Cavs or the Miami Heat make the most basketball sense? Of course, Cleveland has the full circle thing. You can the reports of the documentary, all that type of stuff that he gets to film if he goes back to Cleveland, legitimately trying to contend for a title, all of that, right? And while Miami is connected to LeBron deeply through his identity, winning his first title happened in Miami, all that type of stuff. And I do think that the optics of it, if that even matters for LeBron, we don't even know if it matters. of the optics of jumping to a whole new team, if that matters this late in his career, he gets to avoid that for whatever that's worth. I still think, with Miami getting Giannis, there still would be narrative there. The Cleveland Cavaliers already being kind of one of the better teams in the East, there would still be a negative there. I get it, right? Like, both teams have strong rosters. Both teams can make it work with LeBron. It is what it is there, right? Like, Miami adding Giannis, I think, makes this, of course, a little probably more alluring to LeBron James if that's where he wants to go. But to me, LeBron, the optics shouldn't matter. At this point, you're 41 years old. You're doing what you want to do with your basketball career. You've achieved just about everything. You've lived up to almost every bit of the hype of your career and what's there. Who cares what the fucking optics say? What's not going to care about the optics? The history books. Like, optics are for fans. They're for social media. Like, don't try to win on Twitter. Like, if you're going to want to win here, if you want this move and it's all about winning another championship, let that be the focus. Stop trying to win the media release. Stop trying to win the social media post. And just do whatever you feel is going to be the closest to getting you to the title. Now, to me, Minnesota, Denver, those teams have better cases to be made to being an actual championship contender than Miami. To me, Cleveland Cavaliers, the fit with James Harden, if they return him, there's some basketball questions there, but they'll make it work, right? But I think at the end of the day, like, consider that if you're doing this because you want to win this late in your career, go to you're already going to be taking a pay cut. At this point, you're going to be taking a pay cut unless the team's going to work out a sign trade, but you're likely going to be taking a pay cut. So at this point, fans are going to criticize one way or another. You're LeBron James. You've never been removed from criticism. You're not going to be removed from criticism at this point. Who gives a fuck? Like, to be 100% honest, who cares what fans criticize? If you're doing this, do it for you, do it for your journey, and do it because you are truly doing what you feel is going to lead you to being able to get an NBA title. That's it, right? You secured your legacy. Your legacy is secured. Nobody can take your legacy away no matter what they try to talk about. It's the reality of it. And I say that as somebody who feels like Michael Jordan is the absolute GOAT. But at the same time, LeBron's legacy is LeBron's legacy. He lived up to just about everything that you can. The real question shouldn't be about who's going to criticize the optics of anything. It should be about where do you go and where can you be the most effective and where can you win a title? Or if you are going back to Cleveland for the sentimental reasons, that's perfectly fine too. Whatever LeBron James decides to do, it's going to get criticized, and he has the right. He has earned the right to go wherever the hell he wants to go. And I say that as an objective basketball fan. Do whatever the hell makes you feel good. That's it. I'm going to leave it at that. All right, moving on from that. Reportedly, the Los Angeles Clippers still do want to re-sign Benedict Mathurin. This comes from ESPN that says this. The Los Angeles Clippers want to retain restricted free agent Benedict Mathurin, who they acquired as part of the Zubac trade with the Indiana Pacers. Mathurin averaged 17.6 points, 5.4 rebounds, 2.4 assists in 54 games last season. His three-point shooting dipped to a career low 31.5%, down from 34% during Indiana's run to the 2024-25 finals. The Clippers have also expressed interest in Peyton Watson of the Denver Nuggets, who is a restricted free agent. The Nuggets retain the ability to match any offer sheet and have shown a strong desire to keep Watson, though a sign and trade remains possible. All right, let's talk about the Clippers. I have no idea what the Clippers are. I've talked about before that I think I know where the Clippers are going, but it's honestly, it's just me spitballing trying to make sense of it. I look at the Clippers and I say they have acquired a lot of players that they can look to flip at the trade deadline. Brandon Ingram could be looked to flip at the trade deadline for a team that wants to win now and maybe needs something. Rui Hachimura is another player as a role player, could be moved at the trade deadline for a team that needs to add some size and some shooting at the trade deadline, leading into a playoff berth. All those type of things are true, right? But I will say this, they do have some interesting young players, right? Darius Garland, depending on how you want to view the young, he's 26 years old. He could be part of the future. He can be flipped. You got Keaton Wagler that you drafted. You got Bob Miller in the building as well. Like, these are players that I really like for this team. If you want to add Benedict Mathurin to that and keep him as another young player to continue to build around and do that, that's great, right? Ben Mathurin is not a perfect player. We all know that. He is a very flawed player, but I do think he fits the new direction of the Los Angeles Clippers. Averaging what he averaged, you traded away Zubac, Kawhi Leonard's gone, Harden's gone, all that type of stuff. He fits a retool so you can see what he can be. You have this time to give him to see if he can excel, if he can grow, if he can develop, all that type of stuff. And then you have draft capital, you have upside on your roster. And now with the Clippers' renewed financial freedom, this is where you should invest in players who aren't yet in their prime to see what they can turn into, and that's it. Re-signing Mathurin gives some continuity to it as well, and a player that you just got. But at the same time, do be careful. Ben Mathurin's shooting did drop, right? The scoring volume doesn't necessarily meet the winning output, and that's perfectly fine. But he's a young player that's worth investing in to see what you have in him before you decide to move on. I think that's you don't need that. Everybody doesn't have to be a star for you to invest in them, especially when you're in the middle of rebuilding. That's fine. And we'll see what happens with that one. But with the Clippers also having their eye on Peyton Watson, that's the part that makes this all interesting, right? If you can get Peyton Watson, which I think is a big if, I think the Denver Nuggets are probably going to match any offer that Peyton Watson get. But if you can add Peyton Watson to Ben Mathurin, to Wagler, to Baba Miller, you start then having a young core that starts resembling like, hey, let's invest in this. Let's see what's the foundation. Let's see where these players can go. Let's see what they can do. And then maybe with the draft assets and stuff that you have as well, you can turn this thing around maybe a little bit quicker than you were expecting, right? But at the same time, I will say this, watch the risk. Now, you give them an offer sheet, Denver matches it. There's no real risk in regards to that one. But I do think if you do, or if you do re-sign Mathurin, you keep Watson, you keep Wagler, all those guys are going to need development runway. They're all going to kind of need the ball in different ways as well. So you need to make sure that you have a mindset. Now, Tyronn Lue, maybe he's the coach to get that done. He can find that balance. He's a really damn good head coach. And I don't think that you're at the place right now where you can add too many upside pieces. I think this is where you want to add the most upside that you can and make your determination as you go. Whose upside fits your timeline? Who do you believe in? Those type of things. And you have wiggle room to kind of alter from it if you need to. So I think that's it. Like, they have removed the pressure from this franchise now with having Kawhi Leonard and being under the pressure of needing to be a contender now because you have Kawhi and you're trying to take advantage of that window. Your window isn't open right now. And so you're trying to find how can you open that window and then how long can you keep that open and sustain it by building and developing young talent. That's where the Clippers are right now, and that's what they need to do, and we'll see if they can get that done. That's it, right? They're interesting now because they have options. What they do with those options is going to be fun to see. But options only matter as much you can turn them into an actual direction, and we'll see if they can do that. But with that said, last topic of the day before we get out of here, the Golden State Warriors have announced that they will not be matching the offer sheet to Quentin Post. They will let him walk. And so, did the Warriors make a smart decision in this one? They're hard capped at the second tax apron anyway, right? They still have to manage Draymond Green. They have this LeBron pursuit that they have going on here. And a 3-year, $30 million offer sheet is just too much right now to a player that's a rotation player at best for them, right? And I think with only the first year is guaranteed for Memphis, but if you match it, it adds that financial pressure to the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors need flexibility more so than anything right now, especially with them chasing the big moves to try to add and open up and keep Steph Curry's championship window open, right? But at the same time, you let a useful big walk. And that's the downside of restricted free agency. You've needed size for years, even though Steve Kerr didn't really trust Quentin Post. But losing young front court talent at where this team is right now, it definitely does hurt. But hell, you also lost Jonathan Kuminga. Like, it is what it is. Like, you have older bigs in Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis. They're not necessarily as durable, but at the same time, again, you're focused so much right now on the right now. So I think that's what it comes down to it. This isn't just a decision on Quentin Post. This is also a decision on that second tax apron looming and the risk that it comes down to with that one. And that's just it. And that's the question. The Memphis Grizzlies now adding Quentin Post. It's a smart front court matchup. They have him. They have Zach Edey to go along with Cam Boozer. Cam Boozer is going to be able to take advantage of that. So now your front court with the Memphis Grizzlies, Cam Boozer, Zach Edey, Isaiah Stewart, Jeremy Grant's there too, who may turn around and be flipped. But it is what it is. He's going to struggle to find consistent minutes. But again, that's fine. Go out there, put in the work, and let's see what comes out of it. Last time before we get up out of here, reportedly the Los Angeles Lakers have an offer for Jonathan Kuminga of $20 million on the table, and they're just waiting to see what he's going to do with it. And I'll say this one, right? This one comes from Turner, who writes this. Jonathan Kuminga is the player the Lakers are after. According to people with knowledge of the situation who said LA is looking at a 2-year, $20 million deal for Kuminga, the sort of the athletic wing player, and the Lakers need a starter at the small forward position. Hey, so take this for what you will. Like, the Lakers, I would have kind of rather keep Rui Hachimura personally, but adding another young piece in Kuminga, I guess, makes sense. I worry about his ability to play off ball because you need off ball players with Luka Doncic there. I think that the athleticism part fits, right? That fits there. And with Rui Hachimura leaving, you have a clear vacancy at that forward position that you need to figure out. He's explosive, he's young, he's all that type of stuff, but at the same time, his shooting is inconsistent, his role is not clear, You need spacing and reliability. He's brought neither one of those things yet consistently for any NBA team. And so Kuminga would be an absolute upside swing for this team. But, I think Rory was the safer pick, the plug-in-and-play option that fits. But they're taking a chance, reportedly on Jonathan Kuminga. And once this deal is announced, we'll break it down a little bit more in depth. But seems like the Lakers are prepared to make a big offer for Jonathan Kuminga. Let me know what you guys think on that part down below. That's going to do it for today's episode, man. Make sure you guys use that comment section to sound off. I want to hear how you guys feel on all the topics that we cover each and every day. Make sure you guys use that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode or a live stream. You can follow us at The Full Court YT on every social media platform. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything basketball related. And I'll catch you guys the next time I feel like making a video. Probably tomorrow. Peace out.
Been a presentation of the Break Media.